Hello everyone, my name is Laura and I will present a study developed in Portugal with four other authors. The title is A Pedagogical and Vocational Rehabilitation Project at the Higher Education Institution. Training for working life must go across different age groups, with particular emphasis on secondary and higher education, the stages proceeding into the job market. For students with specific educational needs, there are additional demands, clearly expressed in their high employment rates. Vocational rehabilitation is designed to promote the qualification and inclusion in the labor market. Several countries have implemented state programs to support both people with disabilities and employers. The inclusive employability began as a matter of charity and has become, in recent decades, a question of solidarity. However, it should be understood in the sense of using this population's full potential and, more than that, it is still necessary to affirm it as a demand of citizenship. Today, we are witnessing an evolution in social and employment policies aimed at the group of citizens with specific needs or disability, reflect in the expansion of employability opportunities, but it is not enough. It is important to raise awareness about some data. About 1.3 billion people in the world experience significant disability. About 100 million in the European Union have disability with devastating consequences. 50% of people with disabilities have a job, but 28% of people with disabilities are at risk of poverty or social exclusion. 29% complete a higher education degree, 52% feel discriminated, and there are additional barriers for women. So, the transition to the job market is a crucial period in the construction of this group's life project, and training institutions must play an active role in this developmental task and in the career or rehabilitation counseling. The aim of this work is to explore the impact of employability support for students with specific educational needs as a part of a funded project developed at a higher education institution in central Portugal between January and July 2023. An exploratory qualitative study was carried out with 5 final year students with specific educational needs or recent graduates from a higher education institution in central Portugal, mostly female, only one male, with specific needs such as deafness, 2 cases, visual impairment, 1, and mental health problems, 2. Of the 5 cases, 2 were still studying for a bachelor's degree and 3 were already graduates, 1 employed, 1 studying in a master's degree, and 1 already covered by a supported employment measure, but with imminent end. The predominant area of training was in social sciences, except for one engineering student, the only one attending another school, even belonging to the same institution. The work carried out began with an assessment of the student's personal and social functioning profile based on an interview and the use of standardized instruments, skills, and professional vocation. Observation and follow-up records or reports were also used based on regular support sessions, as well as feedback from students, also include a satisfaction questionnaire and professors. In terms of results from the project implementation between January and July, the students' demand for the support provided stands out in conjunction with existing services at the institution, office for students with specific educational needs, and another to support employability, and the referral by professors. The work carried out fundamentally included individualized psychopedagogical support sessions, psychology and social education, focused on interests and life projects and on strengthening social-personal skills, empowering active job search and access to job market, with the students accompanying, and contacts with community organizations were also covered. The intervention developed resulted in awareness of organizations, companies for the employment of people with disabilities, including information on legislation and services to support hiring. For example, digital flyer. When necessary, was sent a report for the employer with consent of the person being supported. Career rehabilitation counseling, developing self-knowledge and active job search skills. For example, help with curriculum and cover letters. Searching for employment opportunities, contacts with potential employers or networking, and preparing for job interviews, monitoring all the process. Creation of a theoretical, practical employability support manual, physical and online, available in the institutional repository for audio reading, as well as a Braille version. A paid social professional experience, direct contact with company managers for a visit and possible internship, and contact with a city hall to pursue a supported employment measure. It is worth noting this success despite the short duration of the project in responding to all requests made by students in conjunction with existing services at the institution and the referrals made by professors. Some cases followed had not yet finished their studies, so it was also well succeeded in a preventive scope. The results are also positive in terms of students' perceptions. The instrument used evaluates parameters on a scale of 0 to 4, where 0 corresponds to not at all satisfied and 4 to very satisfied, with the exception of the last topic on a scale of 0 to 5, where 0 corresponds to not at all important and 5 to indispensable. According to case follow-up and satisfaction questionnaires, the majority students significantly valued the support of the project. They were very satisfied or satisfied, according to the objectives, also with social professional experience when it applies, and considered it indispensable, reported that was very important that it continues, which was not possible due to the end of the project financial support. In an open space to comments or suggestions, these issues were also emphasized as were the difficulties overcome, and it was even mentioned that other students should be able to benefit from this opportunity. They also suggested the presence of professionals from the different training areas concerned to share testimonials and the network. Therefore, the protocol articulation of this service in a higher education institution with community partners was fundamental. Employability issues are sensitive to the general community. In people with disabilities, not having a job becomes an added factor of social marginalization and economic exclusion that urgently needs to be improved on the path to equity. It is essential to prepare these young people for transition to the job market, which involves, in addition to academic training, the development of personal and social skills and awareness raising and liaising with employers and society in general. Working conditions must be dignified, and that depends on all of us. The project, under analysis, demonstrated that with relevant and integrated collaborative measures, hopeful results for the future are possible. The aim of accompanying the students with specific educational needs in their transition to working life was achieved with training strategies that facilitated structural and solid self-transformation. It should be emphasized that higher education institutions working collaboratively and in a network with employers have an important role for a more informed, equitable and inclusive society. These projects are essential, especially as a test for structural and lasting measures. Otherwise, they will create needs and expectations that will be quickly frustrated. More resources, human, technical and financial, must be guaranteed, and the continuity and scope of the initiatives must be ensured. Some references, and thank you for your attention.